Hi, I'm Liam O'Connor. I am the head of the customer acquisition practice at Lenati, and I've been in B2B marketing and sales for about the past 15 years. So the practice is customer acquisition, and the fundamentals of customer acquisition haven't really changed in the past 20 years. You find your target audience, you figure out the best ways to reach them, you craft a compelling message instead of experiences, and then you nurture them and convert them into a customer. That's basically the same as it's been for 20 years. What's changed is everything in terms of how you do that. The way that consumers and customers engage with brands has completely changed. The data we have available, the technology platforms, that's all changed. So really it's figuring out how to do that in a modern marketing mindset and landscape. So the external messaging is two things. One is thinking of how we differentiate from other providers of services around customer acquisition. So if you think of, there's technology platforms that a lot of people employ, and those are pretty much solving pretty specific problems. So if you're trying to do influencer marketing, you purchase an influencer marketing platform. The other competitor that we often have are agencies who tend to have really deep functional expertise. So they can do mobile, they can do social, they can do content marketing, but tend to miss the broader picture in terms of customer strategy. So what we really do is two things. Is we focus on customer first and strategy first. So thinking of how you do customer acquisition as an entry point into a long-term, really profitable relationship with the customer. So it's sort of the front door to customer experience and to customer loyalty. The other thing that we think about is what problems are we solving for our clients? What are the big pain points they have, and frankly, where are they investing their dollars to solve those? So it's things like helping to cut through the echo chamber of content that's out there. So as you probably know from all the emails that you get, everything that's on social, it's overwhelming. So what we're trying to think is, what's that intersection of a great brand story, of the right technology and data, and then of the right sort of functional marketing skills to get it out there. I think there's other areas that customers are struggling with in terms of, they're spending a lot sort of at the top of the funnel in terms of reaching customers. They're spending a lot in terms of converting those into existing customers, but there's this big part in the middle of the funnel, or the middle of the customer journey, where actually prospects spend most of their time sort of learning about brands, kicking the tires, getting more educated, understanding what the products are available or what solutions are out there. And that's where companies aren't spending a lot of their investment, and that's where we really can help them. And then I'd say another big area they're investing is just in terms of understanding the return on marketing investment. So a lot of companies right now, if you look at loyalty versus customer acquisition in a lot of cases, you've got a 3% response rate to a campaign, and that's success. Or you've got, you create a ton of content and 60% of it is never seen really by anybody or consumed by the sales force. So those are pretty low success rates. Any other business where you have a 97% failure rate and people get excited, it's not a good thing. So that's an area we can help out a lot in terms of figuring out what works, putting metrics around that, putting a much better story for the brand, and then helping them figure out new and innovative ways to go to market with their story. Yeah, so for me there's three things. One is just personally, I started my career running a small business, and I just love the whole growth aspects of business. And customer acquisition is squarely focused on how you grow a business. So I just personally find it really rewarding to think of ways, it's less about cost cutting. Marketing to your existing customers is critically important and an increasing area of growth for companies. But fundamentally, for companies to grow, they have to acquire new customers. So I just think it's fundamental to business performance, and for me that's exciting. I think the second thing is it's an area with just constant change. If you look maybe 5 years ago, it was all about the 6-month marketing plan. People would sit down and do these long planning sessions, come up with a 6-month plan, maybe make some tweaks here or there based on what was happening, and then do that cycle again the next 6 months. Some companies would do it year-long. That has been obliterated over the last couple of years. Everything's very agile. It's usually in a weekly, monthly, if not daily cycle, in some cases hourly cycle. And you've got to be quick, you've got to be data driven, and you've got to be able to test, learn, and respond quickly. So to me, not only the way marketing is happening now, but the way that marketing teams are working, it's moving much more toward that, almost like a software world. It's very much agile development. So it's been a great experience learning for me. A lot of this is new for me over the last couple of years. Any marketer who said they're doing the same thing they did 5 years ago is lying. So it's exciting, it's constant learning, and it's constant personal and professional growth. And I'd say the other thing that's passion for me is just the team. We have universally fantastic people at Linati. I am really excited about our customer acquisition team and the types of projects we're taking on, the types of clients that we're working with, and the way people have really stepped up to own different projects within the practice. It's been exciting watching people develop. What am I most proud of? What's something I would really point to as the crown jewel of the practice? And for me, it really always starts with client work. So we've done just really diverse and I'd say pretty amazing client work over the past couple of years, both on the consumer and the B2B side. So as examples, we worked together with the customer experience and the loyalty teams on an extended project with Goodwill that was really an end-to-end customer growth strategy. Our piece of that was their digital marketing strategy. So it was really cool to see how we put together a digital marketing strategy that brought people into their completely redesigned stores, changed that experience that people were having, and actually impacted sales by almost 20% at the pilot store that we did. So it was great to see that both end-to-end, and we actually are having lunch with our client tomorrow to sort of follow up on what's happened there. But it was also great to see that integrated with our other practices, loyalty, customer experience, et cetera. And we've had other projects where we've gone into Nordstrom, a leading retailer, and helped them think through how do they get better insight around their consumers. So thinking A, from a strategic perspective, then B, from a technology perspective, how they think of what's the right platform to do that. So I think the client work has been really interesting. To me, the other piece that's been great is we've gone through an evolution in how we put out our point of view and our content. So before it was more sort of a mile wide, inch deep, lots of blogs, lots of really good thought leadership. We've actually reversed that and are trying to go really deep on anchor content. So we put together what I thought was a really high quality piece of content around marketing technology. We interviewed 10 executives, got some really forward-looking insights around how they're thinking about marketing technology and how they're actually implementing it and how they're hiring in their companies for it, and put that together in a piece that was one of the most downloaded pieces in Linati's history, which was really exciting. And it was, I was proud of that, but really just seeing the team come together, put that piece together, have these interactions with the executives as part of it, and then really put something that's been valuable. That's exciting. So the question is, what makes people successful in the CA practice, or really any practice at Linati? What's the profile, and then what's maybe unique about customer acquisition? So I think there's a couple things. One is I'm a big believer in the growth mindset. So it's really simple. It's you enjoy failing as much as you do enjoy succeeding, and you love learning, and you're willing to really put something out there, take some risks, just constantly learn, use data, get better, and continually improve. That's really critical for the folks on our team. I think obviously being excited about working in a team environment and collaborating. We do everything we do in the practice through small teams, organized as projects with team leads. So you got to really, as much as you need to be a good, strong individual contributor, you have to thrive and love collaboration. And I would say the other piece that's more unique to our practice is functional expertise. So again, the area of customer acquisition has evolved tremendously over the past few years. So the more you bring in expertise around inbound marketing or video marketing or mobile marketing or marketing technology, there's a host of different functional areas. It's less important what it is, it's just more important that you have some depth of expertise that you can bring to the team. And we really look for those people, they're sort of called the T-shape, where you have that deep functional expertise, but then you have interest in these other areas and you're willing to learn quickly. So I think that's what we've seen be successful on the team. What are the common questions that we get about the practice? And I think the biggest question we get is, what is the practice? What is CA all about? And again, it's such a broad area that could be a lot of different things. I think we're really trying to major around thinking about it from an overall growth strategy perspective, but then specifically diving into what's your brand story and what's the compelling content strategy behind that. How do you want to leverage marketing technology to put that out in market? And then how do you think about data and analytics to support it? Those are sort of the anchor points. But that's a common question that we get. The other question that we get is we've had other practices at Linati around marketing performance management, around sales, and they've sort of been folded into this one. So there's questions around how does that all relate together. I think it's, this is evolving, as are all of our practices, but I think it's really critical we just keep the story simple. So we're going to focus it around that umbrella of customer acquisition, because really that's the customer's goal. All those other pieces around sales enablement, around marketing performance management, those are all means to an end. But what we're really focused on is what's the customer trying to do? What's their pain point? They're trying to acquire new customers in an age when customers are very diluted with, or flooded with a lot of different media. The biggest thing for next year is growth, honestly. So our first year was great in terms of laying a foundation. We got off to a great start. We got to $1 million practice. We tested and learned a bunch of different stuff. We experimented with different ways of managing the team. The second year was really about learning, right? So we actually did some pretty significant content pieces, some of which were wildly successful, a couple of which were not. We tried project work with a number of different clients, learned a lot from that. We had new people come into the team, so we folded in a lot of new skill sets. So it was really a big year of learning. But now we have a strong foundation. We've got people who are really used to working together and have a good level set of how they're going to be successful. And I think we have a good working model for how we work as a team. So really now it's bringing that all together and driving that towards a laser focus on business development, account development, really focused, what's our story, what's our key content, and then using that to help aggressively grow the practice. So that's kind of our focus for this year.